Hey, good evening, everybody. We are back again. All right, so I am finally in the last stages of the power supply. All right, so I got the wires here. Got that pretty well all loomed together this morning before I went to bed, and then went ahead and pretend these. Still got to take care of this last ferrite bead here, which is no big deal, but got to put a couple of zip ties on that yet, and then we can go ahead and install our ends here on the main wires. So let's see here. Wife just sending me a message here real quick. Yes, honey, you are right. Your Chinese is getting better. Ha ha ha. Yeah, a lot of times I'll use the speak to text app as far as on the phones. It just makes it easier. uh, dun, dun, dun. Geez, all these notifications. All right. Anyways, back to what we were doing. So, like I said, we've got the breakers ready to go. All right. So, anyways, as I was saying, hello, Bruce Squirrel. Good evening, Mr. Carlock. How are you doing? So, anyways, so we got this all taken care of. That was what I was going to do is grab. I got distracted by the wife. That's easily done, right? So, anyways, I went ahead and pre-soldered these. That way, I know we don't have any slip ups here. I'm not saying we need these, but I like to put them on there anyways. More as a precaution than anything else on the ferrite. But yeah, like I said, I've already pre-soldered these together. That way, it just makes it easier because all I got to do is just slip these on, give them a couple turns, and get them to where I want them, and then crimp them in place. I'll get them all on there, and then, or get all but the last one on there, and then I'll get the other crimper tool out. We will give these a hydraulic crimp. Hey, 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 it is Donkey Stomper. Just got through mowing the yard. Well, then you are ready to sit back, relax, cool off before you go back to work. Let's see. I'll get back in a few. Okay. And good evening to you, Curtis. As I get more familiar with some of the different logins there, I'll be able to remember and call you out by name. And some of the guys that have been here with me there, they've been here for many, many years, and some of them I've known even outside of YouTube for several years as well to pop in here. So anyhow, good evening, welcome aboard. Oh, one of the other things that I wanted to touch base with. Let me grab one of these connectors here that's not already on there. All right. Because of the fact that it's very difficult sometimes to find terminals that will allow you to hook up for multiple wires and things like that, because a 10 gauge terminal actually would work fine. It's just a 10 gauge terminal doesn't accept multiple wires like what we do here. So we actually get these for 8 gauge wire, and these have a number 10 hole, which is ideal for the circuit breakers themselves, plus they're super heavy duty. The only problem that you ever wind up with using these is most oftentimes you're going to see a radius at the very top of this. The entire radius basically needs to be cut completely off because of the length of the tab here. And the only reason why I say that, and usually what I'll do is I'll grind this down and then I'll kind of 45 gears and stuff. These are probably going to, I don't know if you can be able to see that in the camera or not. But the reason why I have to do that is so that whenever I take and I bolt these on, the center doesn't quite hit in these tabs because these tabs are very, very short on most of these breakers. So I have to be able to move this up forward just a little bit. So, I usually take all of the radius completely off all the way to the tip. Usually I'll trim it just a fraction past that point, but we've still got lots and lots of meat to go ahead and make a good solid connection here on our contactor. I'm thinking of work already too soon. Wait. Oh, but anyways, on our circuit breakers. So, or disconnects, depending on how you want to view that. So anyways, let me grab the I'm going to grab a little 8-ton instead of that 16-ton, and we'll go ahead and give these a good final crimp, and then we'll put a little piece of heat shrink over top of these. So I've been able to get by for many, many years, just this small one. And there are several different versions of this small one out there. Granted, this is not the version by no means, but it comes with the most set of dies that are in here, which is great for doing what we're doing here. But for the most part, up to a 4 gauge, 4 gauge or even a single 1/0, I think it will cover up to the 1/0. But this has probably been, for the least amount of money spent, this has probably been one of the most vital tools that I have purchased. that's been well worthwhile. Even if I didn't do this stuff for a living, it would be a great tool to have just on hand. I think I actually ordered this one. Myself off of eBay. Hey, good evening, Jeremy. You need a CB, or you need a sticker, CB radio factory address. Okay, what factory are you trying to get a hold of? I know that's something. Speaking of which, I actually need to get a hold of Stryker again. I had one that I sent in months ago, and I have never been called back from Stryker. Well, I shouldn't say never been called back. I've been called back, but they never did. They've not actually got with me as far as hey, I got it fixed. I'm ready to accept your payment. Nothing like that. Because I had one that I looked at and I worked on for several months, just trying to off and on, just trying to figure out what was going on with it. And I even told the tech, hey, look, it's been modified. This is what I've done exactly to a T, blah, blah, blah. And he said, well, go ahead and send it in. Yeah, because they're getting to where they don't, they won't, they don't want to work on anything that has been touched, outside of the factory itself. That one's got a couple of dog ears there where I got down kind of low. But, it's very disappointing, actually. Let's see here. There's a difference between, a repair center and a dealer. Yeah, you should be able to go directly onto Stryker's webpage and get that information. I will warn you, because I've got a customer that I feel very feel very bad for, because I sent it in myself personally, and I was told about 6 to 8 weeks, which okay, no problem. I understand. Especially being busy. Granted, now that's all they do. They don't do anything else. Like some of us. Where I do repairs for all different things. So, depending on, who you get at Stryker, maybe he'll get your radio, maybe you won't. I don't know. But I know that's one of the things I need to try to work on tomorrow, as well as give them a call. I'll probably make myself a note here after a bit, but I also have to make a trip to see another guy. He's got some miscellaneous parts that he wants to give to me. I'm not sure if I can use them. I told him I would see what I can do with them, but that's about all I can say. This is the other one. Yes, that's the other one that I need. Dun, 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 dun. 15 pairs of scissors, and you can never find one when you're looking for a pair. I don't always keep a lot of red on hand on the heat shrink just because of the fact that it's difficult to stay up with like 14 different colors of heat shrink. I mean, it's a lot of money for sometimes what little you actually use of it. As far as if you use any, if you use multiple different colors and things like that. This black is just fractions smaller. So since black is the most common and usually goes really well with most any other color, I just stay with black for the most part. On occasions, I'll overpay for this and I'll order just a specific color for, certain theme or something like that. For example, I do have some yellow and I do have some blue. I just know that I don't have any blue that's the right size for this particular project here. So, same thing with zip ties. Magenta is not one that I normally use, so it's kind of throw it over there in the pile. I bought one of those variety packs here a few years ago, so I've got a couple of odd and end colors in regards to that. So mine is the yeah. I mean, yeah, you should not get shocked by your CB radio. That's probably an RF issue, but yeah, I couldn't tell you as far as on derail on that. I know he does the modifications, but I don't know if he does actual radio repair to those. And that is, one of those that, I am slowly moving away from as far as on the radio repairs. And, just for an example, I mean, right here on this build here alone, uh, I've worked on this in all my spare time outside of my other job. So I got that air conditioning blowing pretty much directly on me. There we go. But yeah, I don't know. I mean, I've got some radios that I've spent multiple hours on. Not saying that they're not fixable, um, but I just don't have the time to even go through some of the ones I've got, and I have a bunch of them that I've got sitting on the shelf that are my own personal radios, that I've taken in over the years, either for parts or what have you. And, most of them, they work, but they've got glitches that sit on the shelf in the back and that have been for years because I don't get time to work on any of my own equipment. So, I mean, I've actually thought about just making a big lot sale and seeing whether or not somebody would be interested in buying them. You know, some of them, there's not a lot wrong with them. Some of them, are, you know, very, very, very good parts radios at this point. But I need the room, guys. I hate to throw out something that I know is still fixable. It's just having the time to diagnose everything. But that's just like that. And then I've got what is it? Well, I've got some good test equipment. That's another thing too, is I've got test equipment that I need to go ahead and do something with. Where I updated my workbench here about a year and a half ago. For example, I've got an extra frequency counter. I've got a signal generator, not an RF generator, but a signal generator, that emits tones and things like that. Just miscellaneous. I've been toying with the idea of selling the one spectrum analyzer that I've got, because I've got the handheld that I use now too. So, but I'm trying to get rid of some of the extra or spare equipment that I've got right now. Load side. The oscilloscopes, I did sell one of them. I've still got, one more oscilloscope that I'm fighting myself with, because I want to sell it to get the room out of, to get the room, but I don't want to sell it just because, it was a $3,000 oscilloscope when it purchased. So, just little things like that. But, I'll tighten those up my hand here in just a second. Well, thank you, Three Maid. Yeah, just imagine if I was back in here and this is all I was doing and I was retired doing this. You think this looks good now? Of course, whenever I actually am able to retire, I'll probably be so old and feeble-minded, I probably won't remember my name at that point. But when the wife gets here, I do plan on slowing down, even if I have to take a lesser paying job, in order to go ahead and get a little more free time here in the shop and more time with my wife. I am definitely getting too old to work like I do every day. I will say that I'm over the 16-hour days. Of course, how many of us also can remember our first part-time job when you only worked 40 hours a week? Let's see. Let's see. Bird Dog 102. Maybe some of that. Okay. You would hate to let this go, huh? Well, just remember, I can always build more as long as I have parts. Yeah, speaking of which, I ordered some more modules since I had sold that one power supply the other day. And got them in, ordered just exactly what it said that they were and things like that. And I ordered a dozen of them, to kind of go ahead and make up for, part of what I've already used up, so that I've got, got some for future builds. And a little disappointed. I got 9 out of the 12 came in and they were exactly what I ordered. Great, happy. And then the other 3 came in. They look identical, but they're not exactly what I ordered. And I think some of these people that are selling these supplies, yeah, they might work for, different things, and they might be, compatible in, the computer realm. And I'm not saying they're not going to be compatible as far as in what we're doing with them as well, but they're not identical. So it's like, okay, well, that kind of shoots me in the foot of being able to make sure that everything's exactly the same all the way around. And, it's really, really frustrating. When you order something and you think, you're getting this, and, it comes in and it's like, okay, this is not what I ordered. This is what you're showing, oh, but it does the same thing. Well, yes, for your application, it might be the same, but not for our application. It might be compatible for just a, hot swap plug and play on, doing whatever with computers, but it's not the same for us. This is kind of redundant putting this one in there. We're going to put it in there anyways. I've got separation here on all of them. It's going to go to the fan, and then over to our meter. Dun, 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 dun. I did get some good cleaner and I wiped off that face. So. All right. Yes, eventually I will get to have real Chinese food, and it won't be the takeout. She keeps sending me pictures of some of the homemade food, and sometimes, like on the weekends, whenever I'm off, we'll video chat throughout the day, and she'll be in the kitchen, making these homemade dumplings. Oh my God, she'll sit down and, I mean, she makes those things completely and utterly from scratch, from taking the breading or the breading. The dough, she hand makes her own dough. Oh yeah, chops everything up, but her dumplings are not these little bitty, teeny tiny, you know, almost a bite size dumpling. I mean, these things are huge. You'll look like a chipmunk eating these things. But, I got a feeling she'll actually be making those this weekend because her daughter's home from college. So, and that's also one of her daughter's favorite things is, dumplings. So I know that that's coming up. You know, she's killing me, guys. Okay, so positive. Let's just do this. Just put a couple of little dots on there. The way I'm not likely to make a mistake. Okay. And I'm going to need a small piece of wire for a jumper. And all of this wire up here, including the wires for the shunt, these are all made of Teflon, by the way. uh, keep trying, Early. Keep trying, buddy. That's the best I can offer you. Keep trying. Ah, thought my soldering iron was on. I forgot. I've got to fail-safe switch that I flip over there on the other side of the wall that kills essentially all the soldering irons and desoldering irons and stuff. If I don't flip it, well, none of it's going to come on. Get you guys a little bit more view here of the power supply instead of the lap. I don't have to solder those wires, but I'm doing that just to make sure I get a nice solid bite on the wire. Oh, that slipped out. All right. And I'm not going to worry about tinning these wires because they're more than ample in regards to being able to make a good solid connection on that connector there for the meter. Apparently I didn't have them in the hole, did I? These have got clamps on the inside sometimes. Wind up getting on the wrong side of the clamp. I think you're tightening them up and they're not. Those take special screws. The only reason why they say they take special screws is because the length is just a bit shorter than the standard 3/8. I think I'm going to go ahead and put the faceplate on and then mount these. I think I'll wind up with much more harmonious stuff. Got the screws in there, it makes life a lot easier. Dropped one of the screws here a while ago. Let me see it, so we're going to grab another one. I'll probably find it when I sweep up the floor. Okay, miss anything? Let's see. Bills down, 100 watts. Base. Oh. I like 110 volt variacs. Oh. Yes, you get to see my pineapple shaped head. Used to be all real pretty brown, believe it or not. Even at one time it was all black. Well, thank you, Bruce. Hey, I see Chad's back in there again. 2985. I am probably not going to take any more radios in this year. Those are kind of very few and far between anymore, mainly because of my time frame that I have to work on stuff. But right now, I'm trying to stay primarily with power supplies and amplifiers just because of the amount of time. I mean, you guys can already see how much time it's taken just to sit there and for me to build a 1,000 amp power supply. Most of this has been done pretty well live. Um, so I'm trying not to take very many radios just because of the amount of time. Sometimes, I mean, if it's a peak in tune or, quick modification, I'll take those in, at this point. But, yeah, I'm trying not to take any of that kind of stuff in just because of the amount of time. I mean, I've got a couple of Cobra 2000s, one of which that I did sell, and that was one of the things, and I kind of expected it, especially from this customer, because he wanted one and he wanted it completely restored. So since he was buying it from me, that's kind of the reason why we're going through the Cobra 2000, which is still sitting over there in the corner, which I told him about some things that was going on, and that's where you go. Again, I'll find it whenever the main cleans up, which is me. But anyhow, yeah, I'm just trying not to take radio repairs in, just because of the amount of time that it takes. Because most of that stuff, I really need more than an hour and a half at a time to work on in order to go ahead and really go through and diagnose what the problem is and get that all squared away with it. So. These up just a little bit. These holes are pretty tight. And that Teflon wire, it's forgiving, but it's not when it comes to being able to roll the wires the way I want to. I've got some other wire that I usually use for primary, but the last couple of builds I've been using this high current Teflon that I've got, mainly because I've got about 5,000 feet of it. So, I've got some primary wire that's still really good. It's very flexible. It's still rated for 600 volts. And it's just not Teflon. Fuzzies off of here. Yeah, having a clean rag to wipe this face off, as you guys can see, it's a huge difference. So it's got a real good clean sheen to it. I actually thought about using, and I've got a real light, what is it? Textured black that I use on some things. And I actually thought about doing a textured black on the front of this instead of this gloss black. The only problem with the textured black, I can't put my logo on it. So, granted, we still got to put the power cord in and a few of the odds and ends, but we can set this on here. Get a sneak peek of what it's going to look like. This has got one of those new grills that Mr. Carlock sent me. So wouldn't that look sexy sitting at your home? Yeah, Chad, I think it is. I know Early wants me to keep this for myself. I've got a small 350 amp that I've used for a few years, and I have another one in the other building too. But yeah, I am going to go ahead and build me another power supply and probably put the spare one that I've been using up underneath the workbench. I'll probably put it up for sale. Now, it does not have the HP modules in it, but it is a damn good power supply. You know, it's overbuilt as well as most of my power supplies are. So, but anyways, guys, let me get the last of this here taken care of real quick because I am running out of time. It is already that time again for me to go to work at my other job again. So get this wire pulled up here. So yeah, I'll fuss with a lot of this here after a while as far as off camera. All righty. Can't get my camera up much higher than that. There we go. All right, guys. Like I said, I'll finish up the last little tidbits and what have you as far as probably this evening, and then we'll do a final video on this, and we'll put that new 1,000 amp load tester I've got to work. So, all right, everybody, I appreciate it. Thank you for popping in with us. Like I said, we are down to the last of the few little pieces and parts on it, but this unit is going to be for sale. For those of you that are interested. And 73s, guys. Take care. Squirrel, Bruce, Chad, Mr. Carlock, thank you again. Michael, and whoever else is on there. Guys, take care. God bless. We'll see you hopefully tomorrow evening.